How are we all? What an interesting week did we just have? Let me know how you are feeling below. There's this real sense of it's almost just feeling completely disinterested. Yeah, there's been this deep exhaustion in the field, not because not in a sickly way, in a real cellular fatigue kind of way. And we are riding the post wave of those huge solar flares from last week, and I spoke about that in last week's video. Many of you are feeling this real deep heaviness and a grief. There's this real grief rippling through the field, and it feels like something ended. Not that anything visibly ended, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're inside this current shift. A lot of people aren't going to recognize it. Okay, and what I mean by that is you might just be thinking, oh, I'm just not motivated, I just don't feel like doing anything. And maybe you think that that part of you needs to be fixed. Okay, that there's something wrong, but there is really nothing to fix here. Okay, what moved through us last week was not just solar activity. It was this baseline disruption, this old frequency template, the one that did run on pressure and urgency and comparison and all of those old vibes, right? And when that distortion loses its voltage like it has been, the body goes quiet. Let me know if you felt that, this real sense of quietness. And that quiet is actually where most people panic. Big time. Because silence can feel like a loss. If you're not used to sitting in stillness or silence or even meditating or just being outside, and some of you will be, of course, but if you're not used to that, it's brought all of your shit up this week in particular. Okay, and there's a little split happening with this energy. Many people through this current field this week are trying to resurrect the old signal. Whether you're doing this consciously or unconsciously, it's like you're trying to get back to that familiar. So they're pushing, or they're trying harder, or they're just forcing this clarity to come that's just not going to land right now. Okay, the field is not ripe for that yet. It will be. Okay, so what's happening there is, if you are in that group, you're reactivating this old urgency vibration. Okay, now the other group, this is a smaller group, you've actually stopped. Okay, and this isn't from defeat, this is from instinct. I know I've been feeling this myself. It's just this instinctually, okay, I've got to slow down. I need more pause and more stillness in my life, and that's gonna be okay. Okay, so if you're watching this, it's likely that you're in that group as well. Now, if you've been feeling flat, what's happening there is the old identity that responded to those old ways, she or he is dissolving. Okay, and we know this has been happening since last year, but we're still cleaning up a lot of that. Okay, a lot of those identity layers, and your system, your beautiful system, it just hasn't fully stabilized yet into that identity that responds to coherence. Remember, that is literally the collective word for this year is coherence. You're going to hear it everywhere. So this is the moment between those two states, okay? And it can feel like the fog. It can feel like grief without a known story. It can feel like a true stagnation, like this sense of stagnation. This is the death of the old motivational architecture. And this means that we will no longer be powered from those old architectures, those old matrix architectures and fear templates. Okay, so your body is literally learning what moves you now. This is where these true soul desires get to come through, okay? So there is a grief in this, because there is a version of you who survived this world through intensity. Yeah? Who moved because you had to. That's finishing. And there's this hollowing phase. So if you're feeling like just less responsive to life right now, more inward, this is not a regression, okay? This is actually an emptying. So this is a good thing. Now, when distortion leaves the field, it feels like this static, okay? And that means when we're in that space, it can feel like, wow, I'm feeling more right now too. I'm feeling more collective energies right now. The collective grief or anxiety in the background. This irritation without any seeming stimulation. And this real desire to just withdraw from the rest of the world. Okay, this is a part of the recalibration. It is all good. Okay, now your field is less compatible with incoherence. That is why you are noticing misalignments even more and more quickly and more easily. Okay, you've got this sense that there's this real sense that something is coming. Yeah, something is coming. And this is a part of your baseline identity stabilization, okay? It's all connected. And that only locks in when your nervous system stops bracing. Now, right now, your body is asking, she or he is asking you, can we hold this power without the pressure? And can we rest into this without collapsing? And can we move now without that urgency? Okay, and that can create a bit of confusion between your mind and your body. This is a part of our collective initiation right now. Is there matrix interference here? Not dramatically, no. We could say yes in the sense of the old system ran on those urgency loops. The matrix was so good at sending us distraction frequencies, distorting energies, and getting us into fear states or confusion. Now, when that urgency and those energies dissolve, the ego reads that silence as a threat. And this is why people are really like, oh my God, I'm in the shift. I know I'm in the shift. Something's coming. We're moving through it, but this feels awful. Feels terrible. I feel confused or foggy or heavy or just tired. Okay, pause. This is the moment to pause, okay? Because your ego tries to then reinvent old problems. Okay, or force you to make decisions, which actually feels like even more pressure. This can create even more anxiety or heaviness. Okay, we can't manufacture clarity. So this phase is not about finding the answer. It's about refusing to resurrect what is already finished. That's the key. If you can embody that piece, you're going to move through this phase much more smoothly, okay? What is required now is stillness, okay? Really allowing your nervous system to recode safety in neutrality, okay? And the invitation is really to stop narrating your progress, because then we go and create more stories around that. And then ego is always listening and will go and find and create those stories and reflect them back to you. So we keep the loop going that way. Okay. So the other invitation here is to stop trying to revive those old motivations. A lot of those old things that you wanted or thought you wanted, that, well, it's like they're not for you anymore, because we have collectively evolved so quickly in recent times that you're up leveling, you're transcending, you're switching timelines, you're aligning to higher timelines. So what you thought you wanted, like even a year ago, you don't want anymore. Okay, So when does this fog lift? If you feel like you are in that fog, it does not lift because you try and push your way through this, okay? This is really about stop. Stop negotiating with the old signal, okay? Now, you're going to know when this is stabilizing, when your decisions will start to feel easier again and more obvious and non-urgent, okay? Your desires are going to feel clean, but without the pressure attached to it. Your rest is going to feel powerful. Outside noise is going to feel absolutely unnecessary, and you're going to really have this sense of neutrality around what's going on out there without taking it on, okay? So we're in the shift. It's already begun. Some of you are days away from that next step. Some of you are weeks away, okay? It's all good. But the baseline change, this is not reversing, okay? We're not going back. I'm going to be bringing through my Sasquatch guide's message around this too, just now. And I just want to let you know, if this feels less like I'm giving you information and it's more like a recognition, like, oh yeah, I actually did know that, and it's more like a confirmation. And if you get a sense that your body is really beginning to listen more than your mind, then you are inside this transition field, and there are containers built specifically for this very phase that you are in. Not from a manifesting adrenaline vibe, okay? I'm talking about stabilization, identity anchoring, true coherence, resting in your power, okay? There are some threshold options and availabilities open below. Just follow your resonance to choose your threshold, and that link is going to be below. Now, Cosmo. So if you are new to my world, Cosmo is my Sasquatch guide who came through to me probably 7 years ago now, when I connected with my first ever star family. Now, I thought I was going to meet maybe a blue being, or I had heard about the Palladians, and I do hold Palladian aspects. And I was quite surprised when Cosmo came through. He looked exactly like Chewbacca from Star Wars, and I was never really a Star Wars fan, but that was my first inkling, my first, what am I trying to say? The recognition piece there. I was like, wow. And it took me a while to realize, oh, he's a Sasquatch being. And he was just so loving, like a brother. He calls me sister. He has become one of my main guides. He supports me in connecting to other Sasquatch beings telepathically, and their soul collective. So when he brings a message through, yes, it's from him, but it's also from the Sasquatch soul collective, because they have been supporting us as humans since humans existed on this planet, and they really want to come back more stronger into our awareness and into that field, so they can support us through this ascension process. So let's do that. Okay, what have we got here? And I was just asking, okay, what's going on this week? What is happening? What are the vibes? Okay, he says, first thing is first. Humans are experiencing a level of upgrades that you've never experienced before, and many of you are feeling tired in a way that sleep cannot touch. Many of you feel like you are wading through the mud, and many of you are feeling such a deep grief, yet you do not know where to place it. Whew. It may not seem so, but this is a timely welcome And we, the Sasquatch people, have witnessed your civilization rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall, but we see the potential in your current now space-time potentiality. More and more humans are waking up to the truth of the truth of the truth, and no matter where you are on this evolutionary journey, this can feel hard. So when you realize the truth of what has been going on in the shadows for eons, okay? People hurting, people harming, evil deeds to the vulnerable. This can temporarily create a sense of fear, chaos, powerlessness, and it can feel like doom and gloom. So they're really honoring that. But we were here in the beginning, and we watched it all take place, and we watched benevolent beings take control. Malevolent beings take control, instill fear, sweep truth into your forgotten history, mind control the people, and then come after us. So they went after the Sasquatch people because they were literally the key. For we cannot be controlled, tamed, or broken. And this is why, as your brothers and sisters, we took the role of teaching you and showing you the way until we too had to recede into the deepest recesses of the forests and untouchable lands. But now, together, we make history. Those in power and control are slipping, their grip loosening, their false narratives crumbling. Your mind may want proof. Your mind may want you to seek proof throughout this process, but we ask you to take a simpler approach as we do. Instead of judgment, anger, and feeling helpless as you witness the unfolding events, such as the release of the Epstein files, we invite you to welcome the unfolding, the truth, that finally it is happening. And it will not end here. Please do not misunderstand. We do not say don't feel, okay? But we do say some feelings are misplaced. Those of you truly seeking a better, more utopian world will understand this deeply. You do not fight fire with fire or live by the old adage, an eye for an eye, if you truly desire peace and unity. We invite you to master your emotions in this life, for she is a spirit which was long forgotten. But many of you are remembering this truth through the light ripple. Speak to your emotions. So this is the invitation, is to actually speak to your emotions, because she will reveal where you are distracted, hiding, numbing, or misplacing feelings. And by the way, before I finish off, we refer to the emotions as she, whether you're a male or a female, because your emotions is your divine feminine spirit within. Okay, so you will shave years of healing from your path once you master this connection with the spirit of your emotions. We say the same for your body, another spirit consciousness that can tell you years before a doctor could when something is out of alignment. And so as you navigate the recent turn of events within our collective ascension process, ask your body what will support you as you traverse this phase, because this is a phase, and this too shall pass. So the Sasquatch people are so beautiful at non-judgment, even through all the things that are happening, they have been themselves, they have been unalived, stolen for DNA experimentation, creating hybrids and all the things. And this is actually why there are some Sasquatch beings that look bad. Okay, so the ones that do harm people. It's a much smaller percentage. I've spoken about this on previous videos. That's why, okay, these are hybridized beings that are not true Sasquatch beings who hold that true Sasquatch essence and soul, because a true Sasquatch being is, oh my God, so loving. They love us so deeply, and yes, they've kept us at arm's length for their own safety, but they're really ready to begin connecting back in with those whose hearts are open to that experience. And they are so good at witnessing what's going on with neutrality and with love and without judgment, because they truly understand that no matter how evil a deed may be, if we come at that with judgment and fear and hatred, we only then just becoming a part of the problem. Okay, if we want to be a part of the solution, if we truly want this planet to change for the better and live heaven on earth, it starts with us, it starts with me, it starts with you, one person at a time, creating that ripple of love and non-judgment. Non-judgment is really the key here. Okay, so I trust that this served. Let me know if that landed for you below, and I will see you next week. Bye.